somebody sat there. So
Slight improvement. I've taken a sling off today, so I'm going to do my best to have a go at putting the Zacuto rig together for handheld use. I said before, it was really flexible, expandable, everything works really well, everything's solid and dependable. I've got lots of extra rods as well, which means I can put on my mat boxes and anything else I might want to attach to the rig. But I'm going to put it together and then have a chat about how easy it is to use. So let's have a go. Okay, that's it. Oh, that's part of it anyway, because obviously I can put extra rods on the front end, on the back end. I can put my follow focus on, and then at the back end I can put my counterweight on. Here, can go on the back end. Oops, back rod. I can put that counterweight on the back, especially if I've got longer lenses on the front. I want to make sure that this is fully balanced. So at the moment I've got an extension on the arm because obviously I can't use this arm properly. So it means I can still use the camera, even in my one-armed state.
So if we, for longer and then, if you look where you're looking, please.
Sorry, could you just clear the shot? Yeah, a bit of rain there. That's lovely. Great. Left the wine up. I've got a monitor mount on here as well, which I haven't put the monitor on just yet, but I'm using the Marshall monitor, and of course the Marshall monitor can go on this lovely mount here, and I can adjust it to exactly the right position, which we did use quite extensively on the shoot, because again, there was quite a few of us around the camera. And Canon's monitor, as good as it is on the camera itself, wasn't quite big enough for 3 or 4 of us to crowd around, so we do run the monitor from here as well, which runs great.
Probably to just slightly to the right of the camera, no, just really close to the line of the camera. Yeah, jumps.
It's just a little bit fiddly at the moment. We're just trying to get HDMI cables that are short enough and neat enough not to have reams of cable tied up in knots and a bit of a mess around the camera. Because a good thing is, once you've actually set this up, if you want to just stick it back on sticks, you can just undo one of these levers here, take this off, and I've got the mount plate on the camera at the moment, and I can get on sticks within a couple of minutes. So it's pretty adaptable and pretty customizable and looks great. And there's a lot of different ways you can use it as well. And you don't have to put it together exactly like this. It's comfortable for me. It's got several points of contact for the body, which keeps it stable. And it gives you a lovely camera movement. It doesn't give you any of that nasty camera shake. It's got a bit more mass. And when you've got the extra weight on as well, it gives you a load more mass to play with, which doesn't give you that very, very nasty camera shake. We shot most of the movie, I'd say 70% of it was shot with this kit. Because a lot of handheld stuff. And the only issue that really hacks us off quite a bit, and we're going to have to get a slightly different shoulder strap for it, is because at the moment I've got the shoulder strap on the camera for when I'm just taking stills or walking around with the camera on its own. And of course there's no quick release for this type of strap, so it means you've got a bloody strap hanging around that's a little bit annoying, but never mind, it's one of those things we get used to. I don't know what the other ones are. But there's a couple of rods that we've got over here. Here's one I prepared earlier. A little bit stiff. It's like somebody super glued them together. But if you need to release a couple of them in a hurry, that was the only issue, is that they fit together very well, but sometimes a little bit too well. And we are struggling to get those two apart at the moment, but we're working on it. To fit any attachments to the front of the lens, we've got a matte box, we've got follow focus, just attaching a couple of extra extension rods here. And then we can stick matte boxes and follow focuses on pretty easily in this case. It is a Zacuto product and it is very nice. And just line it up, slide that into place, and we've got a pretty decent follow focus. There were a couple of issues though, and nothing really to do with the actual follow focus mechanism itself, which is all pretty good. But on these Canon lenses and on a lot of modern lenses, there's not necessarily an end stop to the focus. So once you hit infinity, you can actually keep turning the lens barrel or the focus barrel. And unfortunately, that means if you put any calibration marks or your marks on there for follow focus, oh well, you lose them, because I've now moved past the point that it should have been. It just doesn't stop, it keeps turning around. Also got this whip here as well, because obviously when the focus puller is attached to the camera, he doesn't want to be interfering with the camera's movement at all, especially if you're on a handheld rig. So it's nice just to have that bit of flexibility. I'd say that the focus puller really does need to look at the monitor, because again, you can't always be sure that unless you've got probably calibrated lens. It's not that the lenses aren't calibrated, it's because I say they don't have an end stop on the focus mechanism. It means that you've got to be doubly sure that you're getting solid focus, which is why it's good to have a really good monitor on there, so you can double check it. But there's certain limitations and certain workarounds, but I suppose when I get a couple of other lenses, it's going to make a bit of a difference on follow focus. But it worked great, and we got some fantastic results on it, and followed that steep learning curve and learned a lot.